Hello and welcome back. In today's video, I want to speak about how to set up your campaigns when you have a low budget and a limited budget. My name is Yanni. I'm a seven-figure e-commerce seller. I have over $5 million sold on Amazon. I also have a full-service Amazon agency called eCommerceville, where we do everything when it comes to Amazon brands. So hopefully you're next. In today's video, I want to talk about how to set up your Amazon PPC campaigns when you have a limited and a lower budget. So very important thing to say about Amazon PPC. Before we even think about PPC, always start with the listing. Make sure the listing is good. Make sure the main image, everything is clear, high quality. We have no excuses on having bad photos in 2025. You can use ChatGPT. You can use so many tools to make your photos as professional as possible. So make sure your main image is good. Make sure your title has the important keywords, the most important keywords inside. Make sure that the bullet points are structured correctly, product description, backend keywords, all that part, make sure it's there, because if it's not, your PPC is going to suffer. I forgot to mention that you're priced competitively. Once we have that, then we can start focusing on the PPC. If you're running PPC campaigns on our listing that's not optimized, that doesn't look great, that it's not indexing for the right keywords and the right words, and the images are not great, you're going to suffer. Your conversion rate, your click-through rate is going to suffer. So you're going to spend a lot more money than you should, especially when you're on a tight budget. So now let's move into the PPC part. When you're on a tight budget, what do we do? So now let me just tell you the strategies we use for someone who doesn't have a tight budget. If you don't have a tight budget, we have usually 4 auto campaigns: close, loose, substitute, and compliments. Those are the auto campaigns we set up at the beginning. Bids, I have a video on bids. I'm going to link it down. How you set up the bids is very important on what Amazon is suggesting you, but more importantly, what your conversion rate is and what your profit is. That's how you set up the bid. This is a very short summary of how you do it. I have a full video on breaking it down, how you should be structuring your bid. But you're using the conversion rate, the profit, and what Amazon is suggesting, and you're trying to be as competitive as possible on that. After the automatic campaigns, we move to manual campaigns, and the minimum we always set up is 1 broad, 1 phrase, 1 exact, and with between 3 to 5 keywords. After that, we set up single keyword campaigns and exact, and we also do more broads and more phrase to test. Once those manual campaigns are done, we do the manual product targeting campaigns. The manual we mentioned before, broad, exact, and phrase, those target keywords. The product targeting campaigns target products. So what do we do for the product targeting? Product targeting is very important. This is how we structure it. One will be with top competitors that have a lot of volume and are higher priced than us, and we know we can compete with price. Another one will be with products that have a good amount of volume, but their reviews are not great, and we can beat them on reviews. And if we can beat them on price, of course, that's a bonus and it's great. Another one would be for category, for the whole category that Amazon suggests. Just make sure it's the right category, because I want to make sure that we're showing up for the category and type of product we're selling in general. Then I'll do one for brand defense, which will be targeting our own products. And why would I do that? Because if I'm going on my product and all the products underneath that are suggested are my products, there's a lot better chance that I can take that sales and I can take that traffic instead of having all my competitors underneath. After I finish the product target campaign, I will do more brand defense campaign for the brand name. We have to make sure that no competitors really taking that, and we're showing up when someone mentions us. This sounds like a lot of campaigns, it is, but if you want to do PPC properly, you have to test a lot. That's why it's a pain in the ass when you have to manage all of this. And that's why you need a team if you want to really manage it correctly. That being said, this is when you have the budget. Now, if your budget is very limited, this is what I will do. And now, this is not perfect case scenario, but you have to use what you have. I would set up, again, auto campaign, but instead of splitting them in 4, I will do 1 auto campaign instead of 4 and put them all together. I'll make sure that I'm a bit competitive, of course. Then I will do the 3 manual campaigns, broad, phrase, exact. And then if the budget permits, product targeting, and you can, instead of doing 3 or 4 product targeting, we'll do 1 product targeting of your top competitors that you can outcompete in price. So altogether, you'll be doing 5 campaigns. This is if I have a limited budget. The key here is to make sure that the campaigns you're launching, they have the 3 to 5 most important keywords. This is the most important thing. And if your listing is on par and everything else is on par, you just need to make sure you're spending the money on the right amount of keywords. And when your budget is limited, make sure, and this is a big part, is that if something's starting to overspend, you cut down that, because you cannot afford to spend that amount. And when to stop that campaign is depending on your average conversion rate. So if your conversion rate is 10%, after the 10th click, I would start removing them, because you know that every 10 clicks you should be converting. So you need to, when you have a lower budget, you need to be very vigilant. Another big thing I will do is I will put a cap budget. If you go on Ads Manager, on the settings part, there is a cap manager that will tell you how much you want your ad spend to limit. Amazon's default is to go by the campaign level budgets. You will go by the cap, set $50, $40, $30, $20, whatever you can afford. And also, You will go underneath that and say to you, instead of using the 100%, use the 25%. Amazon underneath will say, if you don't cap on your budget, we can use over 100% in the next day. You remove that because that will be default. You go to 25% because instead of 100%, you set up the 25%. So that will save you more money as well. So the key is when you have a lower budget, you have to be incredibly precise. You need to be incredibly vigilant. You need to check your ads every day. Make sure you're super vigilant of what's happening, and always optimize for impressions, click-through rate, and conversion. No, and always make sure that you have a good amount of impressions, make sure you have a good amount of clicks and a good amount of conversions. These are the three things you should always be watching. These are one of the most important numbers you should be watching when it comes to Amazon PPC. Now, just a small caveat, can you in 2025 still do it on Amazon with a limited budget? You can. It is difficult, but if you have the skill sets, if you have a good product, and you have the patience and the know-how to do it, there's definitely space. We have launched campaigns for clients at very, very low budgets, and they have done very well. Remember, when things start working and you start getting those campaigns profitable, you can start scaling. But the key here is to test as cheap as possible, and this is what I would recommend to do. I hope you like this video. A lot more to come. See you soon.